Up next is me. And I'm going to be talking to you tonight about Quelab, which hopefully you guys had a chance to see our 3D printer here. So here we go. So Quelab is a nonprofit, membership-driven collaborative workspace. There's a lot that goes on at Quelab. We have weekly classes, events. I don't have time to get into it all here. But at our core, what we are is a place to make things. We just had our second birthday, so it's given us time to pause and reflect over the things we've made. And we've had lots of successes, which I'll get back to later, but really I think it's equally important to highlight our failures. For instance, here you'll see Jeff working on a MakerBot. A MakerBot is a 3D printer, and 3D printing is really cool technology, as you guys hopefully have seen. You know, you just have a design on your computer, send it to a 3D printer, and it prints out in plastic. We worked on this guy for months, but still can't get it printing. In February, we had an event called Chocolate Hacking. One of the things we did for this event was create a model rocket engine that used chocolate as rocket fuel. Unfortunately, the night of the event, we couldn't get it to light. Recently, we tried to send a payload containing camera, tracking equipment, and some green chili up into space. The payload weighed 2.5 pounds, and we only achieved 2.5 pounds lift when we inflated the balloon, so it didn't really go anywhere. Sometimes our failures are intentional. Here you see Greg testing the strength of this aluminum tube by setting up a rocket engine that has a plugged-up exhaust to fail inside of it. And as you can see, it fails spectacularly. So this is all to say that we're not afraid of failure at Quelab, and this is important because not being afraid of failure gives us a space to succeed, and succeed in ways that we wouldn't have imagined. For instance, it turns out that MakerBot, the motors vibrate the wood in such a way you can make it play music. The chocolate rocket engine, we couldn't get it working the night of the event, but people came down the next day to figure out how it worked, and we learned from it. We learned from our failures. Turns out the chocolate we had been using didn't have enough nougat in it. And the space balloon, well, you know, I think failure leads to innovation, because I'm still very confident that any day now, we're going to manage to get this guy up in the air and get green chili that went to space. And you know, innovating our way out of a difficult situation is something we've been doing since day one. 2 years ago, we opened up Quelab, and you've heard, if you build it, they will come, so we built it. And no one came. So in order to promote Quelab, we decided to choose some monthly themes, work on projects based on that theme, and at the end of the month have an event where we would open up to the public, show off our projects, and basically be like a big show and tell. So our first event was LEDs. And even though we had all our cool projects set up, we also set up a room full of thousands of LEDs for people to make their own creations. And we were shocked at how incredibly popular that room became. People were making all sorts of cool LED art, LED jewelry, and LED frisbee, which was really neat to see. So that event was a big success, but we've also learned that we can't really know what to expect from our events. This last March, we had our annual March of the Robots event, and we thought we'd just get together with some friends, build some robots, have a good time. And we were mobbed by kids. Kids. It turns out kids really like building robots. As an aside, I gotta tell you guys, one of the most personally gratifying parts about being involved in Quelab is seeing all the kids come through. All the time I hear from adults, I really wish I had a place like Quelab when I was a kid, and so I'm glad we're here for them. And also, just look at that kid's face. I love this picture. We ultimately did succeed also in getting a 3D printer up and running. As you guys will see here, Alfred here will be happy to tell you all about it. You can see him working on it there. And this particular model is really cool in that it can actually print out parts to build another 3D printer. Last time I checked, this one here has a couple of children already. Which is not to say that we're always on the bleeding edge technology. One thing we like doing is taking old technology and repurposing it to new ends. So this is a teletype machine we set up to play the classic text adventure Zork. And it's not to say it's all about technology either. I think one thing we've made is just a really cool place to go. I never know what's going to come through the door at Quelab. I wasn't there when the Batmobile showed up, but when I heard about it, I wasn't surprised either, because that's the kind of thing that happens there. But I think what we're most proud of having made is a community. We're all really passionate people who strongly believe that there's something wrong with a world where consumerism runs rampant, because the thing that makes us human is not our ability to consume, it's our ability to create. So please join us. Please come get involved. Come down to the space. Say hi. You don't have to be working on a project. Just come check out what we're doing. It's a lot of fun. Follow us online. And yeah, thank you for your time.